So, is there anywhere you are self-sabotaging? Are you creating a plan, saying you're going to go in one direction, do one thing, and then not doing it? Mhm. I'm going to eat this way, sleep this way, party this way, not party this way. Uh, have you set out a track and are you getting off track? And is there any disappointment, any guilt, any shame? But really, the labels aren't necessary. What feeling comes up when you get off track? And could you allow that feeling and ignore what seems to be the cause? Just notice the energy as best you can. And might be like beating myself up, making wrong myself, all kinds of things the mind starts to do. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Next time I'll do this. And it's okay, really. Could you come back to the feeling behind the mind's endless barrage of what this energy is and what it has to do with you or what you did or aren't doing or are doing? Could you welcome or notice that feeling and let it flow? And just for right now, could you keep it going? Just keep feeling whatever's there, noticing it, watching it, and ignoring the thoughts. And could you release? Would you release that energy if you could? Maybe coming to some kind of okayness with whatever seemed to be happening. That was yesterday, or this morning, or 5 minutes ago, in the past. And is there anything you're disappointed with yourself about, beating yourself up about? Oh, I didn't get my workout today. Didn't take my supplements. I showed up late. Any number of things that you might have some guilt or disappointment about. And could you notice that story and take it easy? It's okay. Could you go behind this collection of words and sounds and notice the energy that runs consistent? It's been accumulated. And it's okay if you want to push it away. You could allow yourself to resist it, or if it's coming up, let it flow. Sometimes it's too much. Is there any resistance to the feeling of condemnation, disappointment, making wrong of oneself, guilt? And could you resist more? Really push away, stuff down. Any sense of wrongdoing, whatever that feels like. Did wrong, I messed up, got off track. Bad me. And could you let that go just for now? Would you let it go if you could? And just let that energy move, get unstuck. It can seem like a lot. And on that frequency, that's the channel we're watching, the vibration. So it comes up again and again. Is there anything else you've been disappointed with yourself about? Maybe it seems like self-sabotaging or not doing the right thing, so it seems. And could you allow the words and images to drift by and feel that energy? Maybe it's in the pit of the stomach, maybe it's in the chest, could be anywhere. And could you dive in? Could you notice what's being felt without labeling it? Wherever it is, whatever it is. And could you surrender, whether it stays or whether it goes? Just could you surrender? Would you surrender? Maybe come to some acceptance, okayness with yourself. Oh, fuck, I did it again. Again, I said I was going to do this. I made the plan. I bought the thing. I talked to the person. And I'm still doing it. I'm still doing other than what I set out to do, what I said I was going to do. Keep on doing wrong, making mistakes, not following the program. Because you notice all that and just let that come up. Let it be okay. And without making true or false of it, right or wrong of it, could you just notice what seems to be happening? Could you feel it more? Could you open up and allow up even more? And could you surrender that? Turn it over. Give it to God, to higher self. Would you surrender it? Give it up if you could. Free yourself from the pattern. And if you want to set up for some guilt, for some self punishment, give yourself something you should do. Give yourself something you should do, have to do, need to do. Is there anything you should do, have to do, need to do, and you're not doing it? Maybe you started and you stopped. Maybe it's been on the I should, I need to, I have to for some time. That's a real setup. Did you notice what it feels like when you don't do it? Any beating oneself up, making wrong of oneself. And could you ignore the thoughts just for now? The thoughts are resisting being with this feeling. Could you be with the feeling more? Keep your focus there like an acupuncture needle into the stuck or stagnant energy. Could you feel and focus wherever it is, whatever it is? And could you set it free? Or at least open the door? Maybe it leaves, maybe it doesn't. Would you set it free if you could? And if you're going to do something, do it without having to or shoulding. Could you like to do it? Enjoy doing it without having to do it? And is there any resistance to accepting wherever you're at right now? There's all these appearances of circumstances of things done right and wrong, so on and so forth. Is there any resistance to just accepting yourself where you are right now? Any refusing to accept yourself, denying yourself acceptance? And that's okay. Could you resist acceptance more? Could you keep up the wall? Push it away? Could you exert your full resistance to acceptance? Let it be there and do its thing? And could you drop the resistance and let in the acceptance? Let it up. What would happen if you let go of the resistance to acceptance and just let acceptance happen? When could you drop the resistance to acceptance and let it flow forth throughout you, within, without? Maybe never, maybe later, maybe now. Anytime's fine. Takes what it takes. There's no rush. You're giving yourself a moment, the moment there is now. And in this moment, is there any refusing to accept anything about yourself? What you did, what you look like, your age, your choices, what seemed to happen in the past? Is there anything you're refusing to accept, resisting accepting about yourself? Or it could be someone else too, same thing. And could you let that resistance to accepting yourself, someone else, come on? How about more? Could you really resist accepting yourself? Just resist acceptance. That being okay with what seems to be. It's okay to refuse to accept yourself or someone else. It's okay to refuse acceptance. Could you let yourself refuse, resist? That runs it out. I'm just not gonna accept this. Not now, not later, not ever. How much could you resist accepting something that is or seems to be about yourself, about someone else, something? Could you resist acceptance a little more? And could you release? Would you release the resistance? When? And could you begin to notice that acceptance for yourself? It's always there, always has been, always will be. Acceptance never goes away. Where does it come from? Right here, from within. Could you give yourself some acceptance? It's okay to fake it. Could you dump some acceptance all over whatever seemed to be happening? What was going wrong or what was going right? Could you give yourself some acceptance? You get what you give. Could you give yourself some acceptance? Some more? Could you give yourself some okayness? It's okay. You get what you give. You just give yourself some okayness. And in this moment, could you accept yourself just right here, just right now? And feel free to allow that anytime, anywhere.